Hey y'all. Welcome to the Shine Your Light podcast. Woo woo woo. I am your host, Lachelle Hooks. Y'all, we finna go ahead and get right into it. Today, we are speaking about dating in 2023. And I have an amazing guest with me today. Of course, I have the very intelligent author, motivational speaker, coach, and a whole bunch more. All right, we got Mr. Simeon Robinson in the building. Hey, Simeon.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm gonna give you go ahead. I know I can't help it. We're gonna stay away from the buttons just a little bit today, not too much. So typically on this podcast, y'all, we speak about the journey of life, right? And the process of becoming the absolute best version of yourself. But again, today we are speaking about dating and love, relational trauma, and a couple other things that happens, when we're dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So, are you single? My number one question I think that most people actually want to know is Simeon single?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How long have you been single, Simeon?
Over a year.
Over a year
Over a
single.
year.
Okay. Was it a bad breakup previously, or was it pretty amicable? Or how did
Happened
that go?
quick, but after that, I realized I'm not rushing back into anything anytime soon.
Okay.
So when it happens, it happens.
Okay. Why do you feel? And see, we just gonna flow today. We're
Yeah.
just gonna flow.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you rushed into it initially? Because I feel like a lot of people are rushing into relationships and kind of just like ignoring so many red flags that we're seeing out here today. So I kind of want to bring awareness to some of those red flags. But why do you feel like in your situation you rushed it initially?
Well, I didn't rush that. I was just saying that moving forward, I didn't want to rush
Okay.
into another relationship after that. So that's why I was like, until I meet somebody that's ready,
Okay.
or that I feel like I'm ready. Okay, cool. Like we can do this together. Then until then, I'm cool. We can be great. We can help each other out. I'm a friend before anything. So I'm gonna help you out regardless. But going to that next level, not everybody's ready for that. So I ain't even gonna let you hurt your own feelings like that.
Ooh, okay. All right. Are you typically the one to elevate your spouse, would you say, on multiple levels? Or
I
usually the
feel
one
like it
lifting them
should
up?
be equal, but there's different ways. So as a man, you're supposed to protect and provide, and as a woman, you're supposed to root your man. So that's how you allow a man to elevate himself. You're supposed to be his number one fan.
I
And as
love
a
that. Vice
man, you're supposed
versa.
to make sure that your woman has all the utensils for her to be successful. So I don't want my woman to work, but whatever dream she has, here's my connects.
Right.
Here's the money. Here's the funding. Do you know how to budget? If not, let me show you how to budget. Let me show you what you need to do for your business. Let me show you what you need to do legally so you are more capable and more ready to succeed. That's what I mean. Okay, I can elevate you, and all you got to do is support me, and we can do this. So it's different ways, and everybody has a different, I guess, necessity for interdependency. So you have to figure out what that necessity is first.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm sure the ladies are listening up for sure. For sure. So if you don't mind me asking, again, I'm not going to dig too much into your business, Simeon. Or should I say Simeon?
Y'all hear
Because
her
we
lying.
family.
Y'all hear her lying right now.
I'm not going to dig too much. But I do want to know if you could just kind of paint a picture, how did that relationship start? Did you approach her? Was it online dating? Did she approach you and slide up in your DMs? How did that start?
Pretty typical actually. So most of my relationships don't start as relationships. Like people just see me on social media and I'm very transparent. So they're like, hey, I want to get to know you more. So when a woman says that to me, I'm not initially thinking it has to be a relationship.
Right.
We could be great friends. Yeah, we could be business partners. You know
Okay.
what I mean? The hardest workers I know, apart from myself, are usually women. So why
Right.
not? So when somebody says I want to get to know you more, I'm cool with the conversation. Let's see what we can do. And I've grown a lot and I've learned a lot from like the perspectives of women and their journeys in their lives. So
we
it's
got a lot
helped
to
me.
teach.
It's helped me as a man, and it's helped
Right.
me as a brother, a son, everything. So I'm always open. When somebody just says, "Hey, let's get to know each other." And side note, ladies, that's all you have to do. Anyways,
No. Before we get into like the nitty gritty, because we sure gonna get into it. Kind of go into that a little bit more because we talked about that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the man should approach the woman. I feel like, men should absolutely shoot their shot and not feel any type of way if she declines. I just feel like that.
That's not
I
fair.
feel like
that's not fair.
But that's
because
how God
the
created y'all.
That's the number one excuse for why women don't shoot their shot.
I'm not
Fear of
saying
rejection.
that a woman shouldn't shoot her shot. I personally don't have fear of rejection at all.
I'm saying you. I'm speaking in general. Like you're speaking in general for men. I'm speaking in general for women.
For me, I think I'm just more traditional. So for me, and that's okay for me to be that way. You know what I mean? For me, I just prefer a man to see me in a very spiritual light, a very deep light, and really truly see me, not just, physically or see what I'm doing, but truly see me and see, how almost like visualize how we could be together and then act on that.
And what if you
not
do that
attracted.
First?
This is me personally. I'm not attracted to like passive men. I'm not, especially if I'm looking for a man to lead in my life, which I am. A lot of women aren't looking for men to lead. A lot of women want to be the leader in their relationships. I'm not one of those women. I'm going to lead in certain areas, of course, but I want to be able to look up to my man. So I definitely am looking for a man that's going to ask me out. But I'm okay. I understand women shooting their shot. My best friend just got married. The wife shot, her shot, and he took it from there. So there's nothing wrong with that.
9.9 times out of 10, that's what happens.
Exactly. So I'm not saying, ladies, don't shoot your shot. I'm not saying that at all. But a lot of women shoot their shot at you. And I'll be seeing you shoot some people down.
I've never shot anybody down.
I've seen some of them.
You ain't seen nothing.
Posts.
The only posts you see are when women either can't wait 5 to 10 minutes to respond and they flip out. Okay. Those are the posts I share. I've never shot anybody down. Literally,
which are all super red flags. You have no
all
patience.
you have to do is say, "Hey, can we get to know each other?" That's not shooting a shot. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really want to get to know somebody as a friend, right. I'm a friend first.
Right.
That's how a relationship should start. There's different types of love. Even the Greeks had more than 8 definitions of love, whether it's agape, whether it's storge, whether it's phileo. There's different types of love. Right. What I'm saying is I don't think that saying, "Hey, I've seen you," the same way you say if a man sees you and he sees something, like, it doesn't have to be romantic, he's going to approach you. Right. It doesn't have to be shooting his shot. I'm saying, what if that man doesn't see you and you see that man? That's always my question. And that's what doesn't make sense when I hear a woman's logic. Oh, I'll never shoot my shot at a man.
I never said I'll never, but I don't want that. I just don't want that. I want my man to, to come after me. I don't want to have to go after him.
But like I said, what if?
And there are a lot of men who honestly take what they can get. I know a couple of them. And I don't want to end up with a man who is with me because, I was available to him. No, like, I want to be something that you have to go after and work for. Absolutely.
Let me finish.
Personal fan.
Let me finish.
Neither is wrong, y'all. Neither is wrong. Go ahead.
I'm not even giving you my opinion. I'm asking you a question. What if you see that man first and he doesn't see you?
I see several men. who are great men.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Like, what if you see him first and he doesn't see you, or you see something in him that he doesn't necessarily see in you? The only reason I'm saying that is because women see certain things in me. So they're like, hey, let me get to know you. And half the time it's really not even romantic. It's like, hey, I see you writing a book. Give me the game.
For
like
sure.
I see you're a personal trainer. I need a trainer. So that's why as a man, I don't think that saying that is shooting a shot. Women think literally, oh, hey, I can't say hey, everything. My point is, if you see that man and you see, oh, he has something to offer, he has something, not just to me, but to the world.
Right.
Why not initiate something? It doesn't have to be shooting your shot. It doesn't have to be a romantic thing. My point is, women never think about the opposite. Oh, I want that man to see me. He has to see me first. Right. I have an eye condition. I literally cannot see certain people.
Ain't nobody got
if you see me out at night, I can't see you. I'm gonna be honest. People come up to me all the time and they think I'm being rude. Like, oh, hey, you ain't seen me outside. No, I literally didn't.
Right.
And people from Facebook, like, oh, I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry. You got to like
when
say,
I say see you, I don't mean like visually see a person, but you know what I mean.
I knew. I'm saying like when you see deeper. So that's why like I'm very transparent on social media. So people see me very deeply. And a lot of people feel like they know me before they ever met me. So when they see me out, they're like, hey, send me in, because they've seen me do the food pantry. They've seen me do the clothing pantry. They've seen me do, the events where I'm speaking to kids. They've seen me do public speaking. They've seen me do so many things like personally in my business or in the community that they latch onto. So that's why people start conversations with me. All I'm saying is, what if the man that is everything that has to offer himself, and you don't know what he has to offer you, will that ever be the excuse for you not starting a conversation?
Well, I started a conversation with you and I immediately saw those qualities in you. I saw you as, very protective. I saw you as very generous. I saw you as a pure spirit, a kind heart. When I say pure spirit, y'all, I love pure spirits. To me, a pure spirit is somebody I can, leave all my money out on the table, leave for 2 days, come back, and my money is still there. I'm that person.
Or it's put up. Or it's
there
put
you
up.
go.
If I see your money out, I'm gonna put it up. Like,
there you go.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Exactly. And everything's still there. They might even add a little bit to it. All right. But I'm a pure spirit when it comes to stuff like that. I'm not going to intentionally cause harm to anybody. And that's what I saw in you. That's what I gravitated towards. And, that's why we've stayed connected. Now I see you as brother. So I'm absolutely that person that's going to start conversations, all of that. But I don't think, just for me, it's not going to be on a romantic level. But, I don't know. I think that's just me. But I feel like the person that I am going to be in a romantic relationship with, I feel like he's going to catch the vibe. You know what I mean? Because women give off different vibes. They give off those, they know if they're going to be good with a person or not. I know if a person is right for me or if I'm right for that person. Even if I don't know if they're right for me, I know who I am. So I know if I'm right for them or not. Right. So I always keep those things in mind. Like somebody asks me out, I'm like, no, he has no idea. I would get on his nerves. He has no idea, and I mean that in love, because it just simply means we don't line up for whatever reason. My mindset is over here. Your mindset is over there. I'm not going to keep trying to tug and pull you over here. That's going to get on your nerves. I want a man to be free, just like I want to be free, but I want us to be free together and line up together. You know what I'm saying? I want our morals and everything to be in alignment. So we kind of spoke a little bit about the approach, approaching a woman or, approaching a man, ladies. Simi say all you have to really do is say hi and really honestly just give that vibe that you're possibly interested and see if they pick up on it or not. And today in 2023, and I know, I'm so traditional, but in 2023, I do agree it might be easier for the ladies to advise a man that they're interested first, because I do feel like a lot of men have been kind of shut down, and that has made them shut down. Maybe, I don't know.
I wouldn't necessarily say advise them, but a lot of women friend zone the best guys they know.
Listen, my male friends are the best men that are out here, literally, like, for real.
But some women know that these men have other intentions, and they'll straddle that fence to their benefit, male and female. Because a lot of male knows, like, oh yeah, she's a good friend, but she's interested, so they'll take advantage of that. So that's what I'm saying.
See, that's not a pure spirit. That's not
it's
a good
not at all
person. Yeah,
but
we're gonna talk about them too, the manipulators.
But me as a man, if you tell me, hey, I want you as a friend, or I want you as a business partner, I'm going to be that role.
Right.
I'm going to be that role until you tell me, hey, I'm starting to feel like we might be more compatible. Can I get to know you deeper?
Yeah.
I'm going to stay as a brother. As a man, I will not cross that line until you say that in some form or fashion, because as a man, it is very important for me that all my intentions are pure. If I tell you something or you come to me for advice, it's not because I like you. Even if I do, I'm telling you, okay, cool, you're going on a date. I don't think you should wear that. Or, hey, you were probably wrong. There's a lot of men that are not going to tell women they're wrong because they're trying to get with them
tomorrow.
There's a lot of women that won't tell women they're wrong because they're trying to get with them. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm really going to tell you the truth. And that's why that's one reason why you don't have a lot of like that's one reason why a lot of females don't have male friends. They're not good friends.
Yeah.
Like it's completely one-sided. Like I've had friends who like want to be friends, but want to keep the tradition of the man doing everything as we're in a relationship. He's like, oh, you ain't gonna pay for my friend? You the man.
Oh no.
We not even in a relationship. Like what
a lot of women do that. And those are very honestly sneaky women. Like it's not just manipulative men out here. It's a bunch of
unaccountable. I won't say it's necessarily intentional. It's a bunch of
sneaky women too.
They're very oh yeah, of course. There's a lot of women like, no, oh yeah, I'm cute, I'm pretty, I have this, I get this attention. All I have to do is say yes, and a man's gonna do ABC.
Right.
Totally get that.
Horrible
there's also a bunch of women who have gone through that, and they're not intentionally, using or abusing. They're just not accountable to the fact that, hey, I'm not being equal in this relationship, whether you're a friend, whether you're a associate, whether you're a colleague, whatever the case is. Because I know somebody, when you go to a work event or you go to a work lunch, everybody has always had one, colleague that doesn't pay their equal amount. Like if everybody splits the tip and you got everything on the menu, like everybody's, order was $20, yours was $100.
Right.
It's going to make everybody pay more. No, you pay your equal amount. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm all for that. We're going to hand clap that. Okay. I'm all for that mindset. Okay, we still keeping it light, y'all. We ain't getting into the nitty gritty yet. You got to hang on for the nitty gritty because I promise you, I'm finna snap on all of y'all today. Okay, we're gonna have the Chi-Town shell is coming out, but I'm gonna snap in love, with love, all of that. But I just got to get some stuff off my chest, off my heart, y'all. All right, some things I've been seeing, but we're gonna keep it light. So if the lady the beautiful woman, if she did ask you out, who plans the date?
I do.
So she asked you, and you still plan it?
Because you have to figure out what works best for both of you. So I'm very much acquiescent. It doesn't necessarily have to be a certain thing for me. When you're going out on an adventure with a woman, even if it's friends, a lot of dudes don't know how to.
You're gonna have people looking up that word acquiescent, but go ahead.
It just means that I'm very go with the flow.
Okay.
So if you want to do A, but B is kind of whatever, I'm going to go with A because I was cool with whatever either way. And a lot of men are like that because I'm 26 and I learned what I love to do.
Baby, y'all.
Stop it.
Him a baby.
I learned what I love to do and who I love to be very young. A lot of men don't learn that till 30.
You have an old soul for sure. You do.
Definitely. A lot of men don't learn that till 30 plus or like midlife after you're already married, divorced, or like a lot of people don't learn that till something crazy happens or you've just gone through so many instances in life and you're like, okay, I got to change. Right. I learned what I love to do. And a lot of men don't know what they like to do, so they'll just go with whatever the woman wants to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of very passive men out here that they prefer to be with a woman who's like dominant and all of that. But to each his own, to each his own.
Yeah. So I'll try to figure out what works best for the both of us.
Yeah, lead
Oftentimes women have no idea.
Lead the way.
So a man has to make the date because usually women suck at it.
Do you hear well, I know I've heard like multiple times women making a post. What would they say, Lord? They would say, I'm tired of men texting me, what you doing? WYD, instead of texting, let's go here on this date. So I'm hearing and seeing that from so many women. So absolutely, fellas, like we don't even look at y'all in that, elevated leadership position when you're just texting WYD. You don't even have the energy, the time, and the effort to spell it all out. Like, you know what I mean? So that's just my advice to the fellas that are dating right now. If you're truly interested in a woman, you truly want to, grab her attention, do more than just ask her what she's doing, plan something for y'all to do. And don't feel some type of way if she can't accommodate it at that time, so.
I would also say lead the conversation immediately, because some of the very same women that have a problem with that are women who can't talk. So I've know, like, everybody has seen a reel
like
where there's a
carry
guy
a conversation
at all.
Okay.
At all. I've literally talked to women. I'm like, hey, hi, how was your day? Cool.
Oh.
How's your kids? They're good. What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this?
Well, that's not a
so that's why that's why a lot of women get the
pair,
no,
probably.
that's why a lot of women get the WYD, because if all we're doing is texting, you have to call, you have to do some form of, if it's not face to face, it's virtual. You got face, like there's so many tools, but a lot of people, male or female, aren't necessarily as open to that. There's a lot of people who can't talk. There's a lot of, like, I've met a lot of women who literally can't verbalize their feelings. 35, 40-year-old women who text me how they feel because they can't say it out of their mouth. Oh, I don't feel comfortable enough telling you how I feel. Can I text it to you?
Why do you think that is, though?
Because they're
communication.
Because they're used to lack of communication. Here's the thing: you can have miscommunication in text. So why not, with your grown self, learn how to say how you feel and listen when someone else has to reply. Because if you're coming at it from an emotional perspective and you're not saying, okay, can we talk? Or you're just saying what you feel when it gets to a certain point of about to burst, that's not the right time. And you're coming at him or you're coming at her in a wrong way. So it's not what you say, because what you say could be right. It's how you say it. And if you're not saying it in the right way, you have no right to feel offended when they get offended because you're starting that way.
So I feel, hold on, wait a minute now. I feel that a lot of the women that you're referring to are in a very unhealed space, because the type of woman that's going to communicate with you properly communicates with herself properly. She's very self-aware.
That's what I said the other day. It all starts with yourself.
Exactly. And until they conquer that for themselves,
the opposite sex.
They're not going to be able to that too, and they're not going to be able to do it with the opposite sex or the people around them at all. And a lot of people, especially in our community, they don't know how to openly communicate with each other without fear. Well, honestly, I'm not going to say without fear of judgment, because usually they don't communicate because they do get judged or, all this and that. But those women who are not communicating properly and all of that good stuff, they're just texting. They don't know how to hold a conversation, have a conversation. That's probably what it is. They got to text you their feelings. That's what you're saying.
I've had that a few times.
Okay.
But I wouldn't even say that it's necessarily
like, I'm going to tell you in person.
Yeah.
Like,
but
no, I'm going to look in your eyes. Okay.
You are comfortable with yourself and you have healthy relationships around you. Most of these women.
I am a little chunky right now. That's the only thing.
Most of these women don't. So if you know none of your female friends are good and you can't even talk to them, you're not going to feel comfortable talking to me. If you know every man in your life you can't talk to, it's going to be harder to feel comfortable to talk to the next man. If you couldn't talk to your father, if you couldn't talk to your mother, if you couldn't talk to your brother, it's going to be harder to talk to someone because you are not used to someone caring, hearing you out.
That's true.
You're not used to someone actually wanting the best for you. So a lot of people are used to just hearing a man say, you should do this, you should do that because I'm the man and this is what benefits me. That's what I hate about the word traditional, because that's usually what that tradition is.
Not necessarily.
The traditional aspect of marriage has been patriarchy, and it's been what has allowed a lot of,
that's like a whitewashed version of it, but
overall. Okay, so
not
how many,
what it actually means in our culture.
I get it, but how many women in our culture who have grandparents and great grandparents who stayed in a marriage that was unhappy, unfaithful?
No, don't do that.
But that's tradition. That's what I'm saying.
That is not tradition.
So you're telling me no. You're telling me no.
That's like saying,
let me finish.
Everyone in our family smoked, and that's tradition. That's not tradition.
That's the excuse people use. Oh, my mama smoked, so I'm gonna smoke. My daddy was alcoholic,
that's a
so
generational curse. Yeah, but I hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
I'm not using any form of faith, any form of religion, because at the end of the day, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Buddha, whether you believe in the universe, whatever you believe in, at the end of the day, it comes down to your choice and your actions. Absolutely. What I'm saying is, I know for a fact that women 35 and 40, there are a bunch of them who can say their parents told them XYZ because they stayed in an unhealthy marriage, and their parents told them that because they stayed in an unhealthy marriage. Why? Because it was frowned down upon in that time. It was frowned down upon in that space. It was frowned down upon in our country as a whole. But historically, the divorce rate is anywhere from 48 to 55%,
right,
annually.
Yep. Well, we barely get married in our culture, but I feel like, no, you shouldn't stay in an unhealthy marriage, but you shouldn't stay in any type of relationship that's unhealthy for you. But I do believe, marriages, go through, hills and high waters, and they go through their ups and downs and all this and that. If he's not putting his hands on you or, cheating on you, I feel like for the most part, things can be worked out. Yeah. But
both people have to do it.
Yeah. But, that wouldn't be my tradition. I would not. I only get to be married to one person. I'm not connecting myself to someone I'm not going to be happy with, especially if I'm happy by myself. That will make no sense. Speaking personal. Yeah,
I'm speaking
very personal.
I'm speaking. I know for a fact that there are women who mom have told them marry for a specific reason.
Oh yeah,
why?
They marry
because
for finances.
That's their tradition, and that's what
they marry for finances and all type of stuff. No, exactly. Don't.
So this is why you have so many men who are afraid of marriage.
But I wouldn't call that tradition, but I understand what you're saying.
What do you call tradition then?
That's not, to me, that's not tradition. When I say traditional, I'm not looking at it from a standpoint of what my ancestors did necessarily. Traditional is more so, how it kind of like should be. Like
how you think it should be.
How honestly, how the Bible says it should be. But
that's my thing though. In the Bible, that same thing that we believe in did not allow women to speak. That's why I'm so against that tradition. See, you can't have both, but you can't have that's the whole Testament. That's the entire, because when you look at religion, there's still so many people who will not allow a woman who has a gift that to speak.
There were so many women, that God used to do great things in the Bible, great things, save their people, all type of stuff, so there's definitely women in the Bible who had a voice that God used,
they had a message
to do great things.
How many pastors,
a voice
or how
and
many
a message.
apostles?
They also had a husband, and so their husband was their leader. It doesn't make them a lack thereof, it doesn't take away their power or their voice. They just had a husband.
What I'm saying is in that time, and the people who believe the Bible and believe that religion, I'm not saying the relationship or the belief of that, they believe that religion in the eastern part of the world, who still hold on to that traditional from their point of view aspect, they will not allow their woman to speak.
You believe in marriage or not? Send me.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You saying you're gonna let it go however you want it to go. A lot of people need to hear this because they're not going to be accountable with themselves.
I don't think people right now are getting I was gonna say I don't think people right now are getting married for the wrong reason, only because most people aren't getting married. they're doing a
They're
whole bunch of
afraid.
other things. They're doing a whole bunch of other things for the wrong reasons. And maybe it's because they did see, those generations of people that were staying married, unhappily. Maybe they viewed that. But honestly, I don't even think that's
Do you know how many women who
really the
are
reason.
mothers have either never been married or are not currently married?
I'm a mother and I've never been married. I've been proposed to several times and I've
66%
said
of
no
women.
each time. I said yes once and I broke it off.
66% of women
Yes.
who are mothers have never been married
I
in our community.
Well, it's
That's
a whole
crazy.
bunch of stuff that happened,
There
to
is.
our community
is.
that broke apart the black man and the
There
black
is.
woman. So we have to, factor in those things when we're speaking about all this, especially when we're comparing to like
But
other
nowadays we're the
cultures.
ones that are tearing each other down.
Okay,
Because
so
a lot
why
of
is that,
the
though?
people who are on their podcast will say, "Oh, well, women did this."
Okay,
and
so let me just snap on everybody real quick. We weren't even gonna get into this portion, Simi, but we just go get into it, okay? And honestly, like you were talking about, women, communicating with their female friends and stuff like this. I've learned based on these patterns, a lot of women who are not doing what they're supposed to do, trying to take advantage of men, cheating on men, all this and that. A lot of those women can't be friends with me or don't like me. I might not even say anything. I'm probably gonna say something.
Accountability. They can't take it.
Yeah.
Nobody's holding them accountable. So the second someone does, they're gonna blame you.
And or take offense to it.
They're gonna take. They're gonna blame you.
Yeah,
they're gonna
take offense to
you're
it.
not a real
or
friend.
Who she thinks she is. No. What do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
I have an issue. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, y'all.
You're
I
doing
have
wrong.
an issue with people taking advantage of other people. That's it, and that's all. Period. Exclamation mark. So I also have an issue with these women out here who are, I want to say, self-loathing, Lord, but these women out here who are sleeping with other people's men. He's married, yet you still, engage anyway. And for one, they don't realize the cycle and, the cycle of life and what they put out into the universe. How do you expect to have your own? Like, how do you expect to have a healthy relationship one day? You're actually depositing distrust into your own life, because when you do finally have a relationship with somebody, that's always going to be in back of your mind, that he could be cheating. You know what I mean? Like, he could be cheating because you was cheating with, a married man. Like, I have no respect at all for women who knowingly are with men while they're in relationships, while they're married. No respect from them at all. And honestly, like I said, I don't think them women like me at all. I don't think, and I don't have no judgment or nothing, but what you're doing is wrong. So why do it? And then there's these men out here, these men and these egos, Lord. And the male ego is not a bad thing. I'm going to feed the mess out of my husband's ego, okay? And I see the good in everybody, so I speak about the good that I see in everybody. But these men out here, this are all things that I'm seeing, y'all. These men out here are sleeping with their friends, so-called friends, spouses, girlfriends, wives, in their face, inviting him over to watch the game, and he's sleeping with the wife that's cooking for both of them. I'm seeing them this out here, and it's just so dirty and disappointing and deteriorating to ourselves. Like, it's horrible, y'all. And I'm truly tired of it. I truly am. And I hope we get it together. These are 35, 30, 40 plus people out here.
Age ain't got nothing to do with it.
It sure don't. But you would think, I want us to have, those beautiful families again. And, shout out to everyone, to all the beautiful families out there. Shout out to my friend Calvin, his beautiful wife, Lydia, that just got married. I know several, beautiful Black couples out here. Some I've interviewed, who are just an example to us. But yeah, I'm tired of it, and y'all need to stop. Like, I have no respect for it. Y'all need to stop. Okay. Thank you very much. I would sincerely appreciate it. You're not doing anything but causing other people harm and causing harm to yourself in the long run. That's why you don't trust nobody now. Amen. All right. Hey, Simi. Okay. So, how would you define the phrase gentle loving? Gentle loving. Then I'm gonna snap on them again in a second.
Mm, that's very it's very perspective
Yeah, and it's
because
okay. It's very broad.
everybody's I won't even say it's vast. Like
Yeah.
it's so many possibilities because so many people have different experiences and different biases or different backgrounds. So if like the person is a tough love type of person, gentle loving might not even reach them.
Ooh, why you say that?
Okay, so if you're
Like they got to break through barriers.
if you're used to your father, let's say he's an authoritarian.
Yeah.
Let's say he's
Shout out to PV. Hey, PV.
let's say he is very, very strict is an understatement. You can't do anything because it's his house and whatever he says goes. Your mom enables it. So whatever he says that's derogatory towards you, she's not going to say anything. She's not going to correct him at all. And she's not going to usually even come back to say, hey, your father was wrong. I'm sorry. So when you grow up in that and then you go around other people who in our community, we think it's okay to joke about each other. Like, ha, 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 you ain't got no mama. Ha. No, you're stupid. Like, and it's allowing you to get through your pain, and you're so in pain that it doesn't even hurt you. So you have to laugh at it. Like we have to play these games, and it builds character. And when did it become such a badge of honor to be poor? Not just physically or financially, in the mind, to say that this is what's entertainment. This is what's fun. I like to see Black women fight each other. I like to see this. I like to see women cheating on dude's husband. You're talking about, what people's values are. This is what is popular now. Tyler Perry got 50 shows about the same thing. The same thing. You got sisters, you got brothers, you got Office, you got the Pains, you got the.
I ain't seen none of them. I'm not even gonna lie. I heard they were really good though. I love Tyler Perry, but I haven't seen any of those shows.
I have a problem because it only shows usually the negativity. And then you have the reality TV shows that only show the worst parts of usually our women. Especially when you talk about the Atlanta and the certain places that.
Do you think that's why our men treat us like this, or like that for the majority?
Men treat women like that because women allow it.
Ooh, I don't allow it. All right.
And that's why you get respect. But a lot of women will blame men for the same thing they allow. I can't say
I don't get no dates though.
I can't say a woman made me do anything, because a lot of women are intimidated by me because they know they can't even approach me unless. I've literally had women tell me, "Oh yeah, no, I can't. You got the package like Amazon, but I can't even do it because I'm not there yet, or I know something just happened to me and I wouldn't be able to accept that." I've literally had women have the accountability to say that. I was like,
okay, let's stop there.
You cool.
Let's stop there, because there are a lot of men on a very elevated level, very well respected, such as yourself, and that woman might not be on your level. So how do you handle that? Okay, like right now, it's so many women it's the opposite. So it's the woman lifting the man up, and I'll get into that in a second. But like, how do you handle that? Do you try to like almost like convince her that she's enough? Do you put effort in towards that? No. Okay, so let's talk about that learning process.
Ladies, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
if she does not have self-confidence, it's ugly. I don't care how beautiful you are.
Right.
That's going to make you so
unattractive. Yeah, for
sure. You could be Beyonce on the outside.
Yeah, for sure.
But feel like the Hunchback of Notre Dame on the inside. And that's what's going to show.
I mean, I am a little thick right now. You ain't have to say north to back.
Oh my gosh. No, that's what's going to show. Like, you're going to eventually see a person's true intentions.
Yeah.
When you go out to eat, how does she treat the waiter?
Yeah.
How is she talking to the people who are serving her food? You're gonna be disrespectful and downright devious and just ugly to the people who are serving
Ooh.
you, how are you going to treat the man who is serving you, who is protecting and providing for you? It's the little things. If you can't treat a stranger with the same love and respect as a human being, at the end of the day, how are you going to treat me when you get in your feelings, or when you get emotional,
or you take
triggered?
a stumble? If you take a stumble, you know, if something happens where, God forbid, you lose your job or something, not knowing that
you're
God set
feel
you
worse than I feel,
right? Not knowing that God set you up. Not knowing that God set you up for something greater, but in the midst of that, how are you going to treat him in the midst of that? You know,
same thing for me.
It's like two type of women out here. There's the ones that are babying these men, all right, and then there's the other one that's kicking them when they down, and neither is right, y'all. Neither is right. If you're gonna commit yourself to that man, you're gonna commit yourself to that man. That's it, and that's all. But don't commit yourself to someone that you that it's, what's the word, Lord, that everything is conditional in that sense. You know, I'm not talking about condition in the sense of cheating and stuff like that. That's a no for me. Could not any type of disrespect to me, you're gone.
The overall character is
yes, exactly. Or your you know, the finances, you know, all of that stuff. Yeah. And that shouldn't be. Y'all, we exposing all.
But I feel like
nonsense out here today.
Men are the same way. Because I made a joke about this a long time ago.
Same way. Go ahead.
My wallet is connected to sex.
Wait, what?
My wallet.
I'm gonna need you to clarify.
Is connected to my sex bone. If I'm broke, we shouldn't be having sex. We shouldn't be doing nothing.
Oh,
and there's a lot of people. No, ain't no.
All right.
There's a lot of people.
I'm listening.
There's a lot of people, especially men. There's a lot of men who don't have a job. There's a lot of men who don't have any goals. There's a lot of men who don't have anything, and these are the same men that these women are giving chances. So when you give chances to a bum, and then you're wondering why, oh my gosh, I can't attract a good man or a man who actually has a job, who actually, if he has kids, he is a great dad. You're giving chances after chances to this man who is running from child support.
Okay.
No. I let you talk. You're wondering. You got on now. I'm finna get on now.
Go ahead.
You're wondering why. Oh my gosh, nobody wants to take me serious because I have kids. No, you're talking about the same men who are running from their kids.
Yeah,
there are great fathers out here, but because you keep giving chances to bums, you're not going to see them, or when you see them, you're not going to accept them or even feel comfortable enough to introduce yourself to them. And
and what you're saying is,
what I'm saying is, it shouldn't be about finances, but I will agree with the most traditional aspect of, as a man, it is my job to protect and provide. I cannot protect if I don't have enough money to keep a roof over your head. I cannot provide if I am not even looking for a job or chasing my dream. I don't currently have a job, but I work harder than almost everyone with a 9-to-5, because I wake up at 5 in the freaking morning. I go to the gym for 3 hours and I come home and I don't stop working till 10.
That's why he look like that. That's why I hired him to get me together, Jesus.
I work 16, 17 hours a day, but I don't have a job. I'm chasing a dream.
Right.
So there is a difference. I'm not saying that, because he doesn't have a job. No, you can clearly see when a man has the intention to do something.
Right.
Because there's a lot of great fathers out here who have the intention to be a great father, but they impregnated a woman who was already bitter and who didn't have a father in her life. So a lot of times she's not even going to allow that man to be there as a father, and she controls what she tells that child.
That's true. That's good. Okay, 2 things I want to dive into. Lord, please don't let me forget them, Jesus. The first thing is, I will say, I understand your wallet is connected to everything else. I get that. But fellas, I would just say communicate that to your woman, because sometimes you're not considering her and that, you know what I mean? So sometimes, she feels like she's not attractive to you anymore or something like that. So you just have to communicate that, fellas.
That goes back to gentle loving. That goes back to gentle loving. Like, babe, I'm sorry, I can't do this right now. I have to go apply for a
My
job.
focus is here.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
it, and that's
That's-
all.
yeah, you can-
and
when
she
you
probably gonna try to
communicate that.
throw it at you a little bit before you go in an interview. You know what
I'm not saying deny that.
I hope you
No,
catch
I'm not
it.
saying deny that. That might get you the job.
That might get you the job. You
You-
know,
listen,
that's what I'm saying. That
listen.
got to be a part of it. I
Listen.
need that to be a
Before
part
the
of it on the
interview-
lows and the highs. All
Before the
right.
interview, I'm
I only
saying,
get one partner, Jesus. But
I'm
I
saying how that man
understand.
looks at himself,
And
because a lot of
so-
men will look at themselves as
Yeah.
less because they're not providing
and
so-
not feel deserving.
So
or
it's
not feel.
it's on the, that is when the woman uplifts that man. That's why I said when I said the woman is the foundation,
Like you are
if a man-
king.
yes.
Yes, Lord.
and that's what's going to allow him to feel that he is deserving and to feel that he can go get any job that he wants, because at that time that man might not be like, dang, I put 10 20 years in this job, this was like my career path, I went to school for this,
Right.
and I've been in this job and they just laid me off because they're trying to make more money.
Right.
Oftentimes a lot of people who get fired, it doesn't even have anything to do with their capabilities or their intelligence. So
right.
but that's how it feels, especially if you're a man and you're making,
That's never easy.
and you're making
Yeah.
money. So that is the job of his woman to say, hey, babe, it's cool, you know, we ain't gonna be able to eat steaks and whatever, but
And
when you
that's all
come
right.
home from your interviews, you'll still have a meal.
Honestly, a lot of times God allows those situations so you can see the character of a person in those situations. Are you gonna stay or are you gonna go?
You gotta
Are
say
you gonna
person in all their
respect me the
seasons.
same or are you gonna disrespect me and kick me while I'm down?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, you're not coming with me when I'm up. I promise you this. If you can't love me at my worst, not saying that because I truly believe my spouse deserves the best of me, but if you cannot love me prior to getting there, you're not the person for me. That's it, and that's all. Because you know, you never know what happens after you get to the peak. The second part of that, thank you, Lord, for not forgetting. Second part of that, Mr. and Mrs. Fix It. Mr. and Mrs. Fix It. So you kind of touched in a little bit about the people who are you kept saying how she gave a chance to the bum.
Yeah.
You know, I was definitely Miss Fix It, you know. I hate to say this, probably because I wanted to be something for someone that I wish someone was for me. Yeah.
Totally understand.
So I would see certain things, or, you know, as soon as I see something that needs to be fixed, I'm automatically going there. If I can do it, if I can help, I'm automatically going to do it.
That's right.
So that's dangerous to a man, very dangerous for me, to a man that would, that doesn't have anything to feed me back or offer me back. That's draining. So I was definitely a misfix it at one point.
And that's more internal than external.
Exactly.
Like to feed your spirit as opposed to
in every capacity, holistically, because I was doing it holistically. So now the season that I'm in, I pour all of that back into myself.
Okay.
You know, I don't do that anymore, but, you know, I don't speak about things that I haven't gone through. So now we're speaking about Mr. and Mrs. Fix It. These women out here, like you said, that are dating, quote unquote, I hate to call them bums, but they're boys that are taking advantage of the women, and the women are okay with that because they don't want to be lonely, you know. Or these men, how do you feel about the men who are trying to groom these young girls because they don't want to be accountable for the
I'll be the first person to tell you it's a lot of dudes out here that ain't doing right, or that are
snapping on y'all today,
using their God-given talents as a male. I won't even say privileges or rights, because no one has, especially as a male, no one has the right to make a woman feel less than, to make a woman feel like a material, to make a woman feel like,
even if she look chunky,
to feel like a possession that is not tied to a title. So if you're my wife, you're my wife, because once we get married, I'm yours. You don't have to worry about another woman because she can't have what's already in the deed of someone else.
Yes.
So that's when I say, like, you can't be possessive or feel that you have the right to do or say anything to a woman. And unfortunately, we have way too many men that feel that way. And that's why you have so many women who are afraid to say how they feel, afraid to go certain places, and told, like, rightfully so, because she's not comfortable. She's not safe. And that's why I'm so big on making any woman around me feel safe, because we have
always so safe with them.
We have so many different places, times, and areas where women can't even feel safe in their job, in their gym, in their family even. So it's very important not to do that, especially as a man, because it can be very detrimental. And trauma is very overlooked, especially in our community, because we look at it as, oh, it happened, get over it. But you don't understand, especially with sexual trauma, that's going to change how a lot of people look at the act in general. Like you can't even touch certain
all
places
trauma,
because that's what's going to cause them to react or remember that certain time and react physically, especially with emotional or verbal trauma. If you say a certain thing, whether it is negative or not, and they remember, oh my gosh, I remember the last time a man called me crazy.
Right.
Maybe he was right. Maybe he was wrong. Who knows? But if she never, listen, a lot of women don't want to admit they're crazy, man. But if she never did that accountability, or if she never worked with that in herself to be like, oh no, that man just didn't deserve me, or oh no, I was wrong in this situation, I need to make sure this situation doesn't happen. A lot of people never differentiate that, because a lot of men will just say, oh no, she's being emotional, she's being this, she's being that. And oftentimes she's vindicated because of what you're doing or saying to her. You can't call her out her name and be like,
or call her crazy,
you're emotional
after.
No,
exactly.
You can't do that.
Exactly.
But there are certain cases to where you're being
but
gentle.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't actually don't be crazy, lady.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain occasions where you're being
if you're
gentle.
Snapping on him, then snap on him, but don't do nothing else, Jesus.
And oftentimes
leave his tires alone. Leave his tires alone, Lord.
Oftentimes she's doing that to you only because of the memory and the trauma that she's had with other people who have done or said certain things to her. There's been times where you mentioned gentle love, and I say certain things slowly, how I'm saying it right now. Even if we're arguing, I'll never let my voice get to a certain level, especially as a man, because women love, like, there's a lot of women that love to scream, but as soon as you scream back, who can you scream?
I promise you do not disrespect me in any way, shape, or form, and we will be good. And yes, watch your tone. Why? Because I promise you, I'm gonna watch mine. I'm not going. I understand, raising a voice. I think that's natural. I think that's a human thing. And honestly, I might be like, like what I do.
And you might be loud.
Let's talk about it.
My family is loud, so I've had to like.
See.
You have to have
but
that
anything that's like I'm trying to dominate you
or speak over you
is definitely gonna be
disrespectful,
very disrespectful, and probably triggering to me, where I'm not gonna see you in the same light. Like, nah, this ain't gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work at all.
And it doesn't matter your intentions, because the actions don't match. So you can have, and again,
I'm not gonna do that. So I'm not gonna be with someone that's not gonna do things.
You don't deserve that.
Exactly.
Male
Thank
or
you,
female.
Lord.
If you're receiving if you're receiving something that you have not and would not give to somebody,
exactly,
leave.
I love it. Whew. Hold on, y'all. Snap, crackle, pop today. So another thing that I feel like, and give me your opinion on this, because I think this is a bit controversial as well. Another thing that I kind of feel like is we've lost that sense of community when it comes to relationships. Everybody is staying out of everybody's business, right? Ooh. And I understand everybody's staying out of each other's business, but I feel like, especially
this
if you're
isn't controversial to me. I'm already with you.
Especially if you're a leader, especially if you're an example of a great man. Like Simi said, he's a man that once he's married, y'all are one. Y'all belong to each other. Not a lot of men have that mindset. That is a grown man mindset. That is a man of God mindset. That is an elevated mindset. A lot of men don't have that. Why? Because they don't have any type of discipline within their flesh. They don't have any type of, they just don't have that. They don't have that elevated mindset. So I thank God for the men that do have that. And y'all need to be examples.
And aren't afraid to talk about it.
Yes. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Stand up tall and be examples to these other brothers out here, because they don't have any other examples. So they're going to do what they see. Yeah. So I feel like men and women needs to be like a checks and balance thing.
Hold each other accountable.
Yeah. Yes, especially the ones that are in long-term relationships or married, but you should be married. You shouldn't be dating for 10 years, Jesus.
If you know somebody is cheating, you should tell their spouse. That's what I'm gonna say.
Ooh, wait.
That's
wait,
accountability.
No.
That's accountability.
Hold on. So we gotta go over that because you can't just get people killed out here. You gotta wait now. So
I ain't doing nothing.
no. But I think you got to know who you're talking to for one. But I don't think you're going to be talking to people
most
that's
of the people
crazy anyway.
do though. That's what I'm saying. Like in a community, in our community, especially in Milwaukee, it's not a big city. Most people know most people, especially when you work with certain things. Like as a model, I know 80% of the models in the city. Like, and I did photography, so I know 80% of the models in the city. And as other photographers,
city, for sure,
there's a small amount of people who are actually doing certain things. So especially if you get to like STEM or business, like there's only so many people who are running their own business and being successful with that. So you know their spouse and you know certain things about them. What I'm saying is a lot of times people will put their spouse on social media the entire time. They're acting like they didn't just post their wife.
Yes, I've seen
how you gonna jump in my inbox?
Exactly. I know several
10
people
years married, and then the next day
didn't even know. Right?
Inbox.
Exactly. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I have no respect for those individuals. My question to you. Oh, you're sending it?
Yeah. If a woman texts me and I see her husband on her thing, I've screenshotted it.
I've never sent it.
I don't care
because I feel like if I don't know them,
that's even more reason. That's even more reason because the people who know them,
true.
The people who know them probably know too. Why as Black people do we condone cheating? Do we condone lying and do we condone sexual abuse?
Yeah,
because so many people, especially women who have gone through that, it's happened with their own friends or their own family, and they're not going to say anything because our community won't support them.
Okay, that's true. And I was more so speaking, from like we know each other, we personally know each other instead of that, because people is crazy. So I ain't trying to stick nobody on nobody. You know what I'm saying? So you just don't know, Keisha man done sent you an inbox, you done sent it to Keisha, and now Keisha gone, or he gone, or something like that, So because we've seen that. So I was more so speaking.
Have we seen that when someone finds out, or have we seen
when they find out?
Have we seen that how they find out? Because usually how they find out is you see Keisha with that man. You see Keisha on top of that man. That could be true. That's gonna flip a man if he sees you on top of another man. But if he knows, like, oh, okay, I have time to think about this.
Let me ask you this. So in a case where you actually know Billy Joe, right? Billy Joe and Susan, all right?
Okay.
Not necessarily how would you tell them, but yeah, like how would you tell, like, would you, if Susan was cheating, would you have a conversation with Susan first? If the woman was cheating, would you have a conversation with the woman first? Like, hey, you stepped out on dude, you need to go and tell him. No. You're not going to speak to, know these people. No. You're not going to take it to him? Send me.
Did they take it to God? Here's the thing.
Well,
I don't think the cheating is the problem. It's the lying. Because most people don't just cheat one time, Lachelle. Most people don't just say,
before you go and tell the other person, are you going to at least give them a chance? Like, yo, I know about this.
Has anybody ever had to tell you that slapping your mama was wrong?
No, I would never slap
That's
my
mama. Point. It's like
my mama a thug.
There's certain things that, come on now, you already know you shouldn't be doing. And some people don't value their marriage. And too many people look at their marriage as a relationship.
I wonder what people think on that one. Like, I'm going to make a Facebook post if people
let me
not
know.
Responding.
You tag me.
I want to know, if somebody is cheating on their spouse,
nobody's
going to take it
directly? Nobody's going to.
Are you going to because most people ain't saying nothing
at all.
And everybody's just out here just sleeping with each other.
At all. But as a man, I wouldn't want another man to do that because I've seen it. I've been in it. And I've seen it. I've seen men take care of women, and I've seen men take care of women's children that aren't theirs for years. Or even worse, I've seen a man take care of a kid he thought was his.
And then get done wrong by the woman?
The entire time.
And got done wrong by the woman?
And then if they divorce, now he has to pay for a kid. That's not his. And he can't even get a DNA sample because he still thinks it's his.
Oh, no.
As a man, listen, if I never become president, the one thing I will put into action as legislation As soon as you have a kid, everybody's getting a paternity test.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Everybody's getting a paternity
1000%.
test.
I actually dated someone, little personal info. I dated someone years ago, like over 10 years ago. Oh, he had 2 children and they looked nothing like and they were little. And I ended up purchasing a paternity test, and neither of the kids were his. Yeah. Well, he did the test, but I just, sowed that seed, and he was hurt and he cried and all of that. We ended up, breaking up a little bit after, but at least going forward in his life, and they were still little. So at least going forward in his life, at least he's aware whether he chose to be, remain in their lives,
and he can make a
choice.
Exactly. Because a lot of men who didn't have that choice, now they treat that kid
right
according to how they should be treating that woman.
Right.
Because that woman should not be in his life at all.
Yeah.
But guess what? Now neither are the kids. That's why I stand the way I stand on especially affairs. Because if you're cheating on your husband and you can't even be honest with him, how much do you care about your kids?
Horrible, y'all. Just horrible.
Because if someone finds out they're being cheated on and they have to find out themselves and they find out a different way, you cannot blame them for how they react. And oftentimes, guess who takes the brunt of it? The children. Mm-hmm. So if especially a lot of times as Black people, by the time you married, you already have a kid before you married to that man. So that kid is not even that man's kid. But now that kid looks at that man as father, because that man was the one who stepped up when the man that you were dealing with, or the man that you're probably still soul tied to, left you in the dirt.
Shout out to the stepdaddies.
So that's why I stand on that.
Stepdaddies,
that's why I stand on that, because I want more people to be in the lives of their children, and I think that's one of the things we don't talk about as to why so many people are. Because I'm a recovering feminist. Up until a few years ago.
Why recovering, Jesus?
Because up until a few years ago, whatever a woman said, I took that face value. I had to see so many instances as to where, oh, that didn't happen the way you said it happened. Mm-hmm. Oh, you took advantage of him, but now he's locked up because he didn't pay child support. That's not even his kid.
I mean, you don't have to not be a feminist because there's some women that are
I'm saying
out here.
I'm saying that word has a connotation of, if a woman says a man raped her, he doesn't even get to say he didn't or prove for a fact that he did not.
And we know there's been women out here
his career's gone. His life is gone. It's happened to multiple men who have been in college, careers gone. Now they're in jail. And oftentimes for a Black man or a Black woman, it's hard to get an appeal process, and it's hard to get even a probation. So if you don't get released, it's hard to even say, oh, hey, I was wrongly accused. I was wrongly convicted.
Well,
because they're
being
making
accused
money.
of anything sows a seed into the, people's mindset. So that's kind of how most humans are set up, unfortunately. Not guilty until proven guilty is
I would agree.
Not true.
I would agree, but
which is horrible, but it's horrible. It's like a stigma that's placed on you when you're accused of something. I think, we've all had those stigmatisms. Yeah. We've all had those stigmatisms, placed on us in different areas at one point in time. Time reveals all things, though. Time reveals.
But by the time that time reveals that, how much damage has been done?
That's true.
That man has lost his family because now he's looked at as a completely different person. Because as a man, I look at any man that takes advantage of a woman physically, mentally, emotionally as
in 2023, though, I feel like we shouldn't be taking that. Well, I'm not gonna say don't take it as face value, but at the same time, it just happened to Jonathan Reynolds. That's what I'm saying. At the same time, there are some women out here that are speaking that
there's a lot
on men.
Yes.
With money, but also there are also men with money and
power. No, there's a lot of women
that are taking advantage of on women and getting away with it too. So,
but even as a man,
at the end of the day, it's the proof. I need the proof.
As a man that takes domestic violence very seriously,
or
I'm not even looking at it as how it affects the women.
Or look at her character.
How does it affect? I mean, I'm not even looking at how it affects the men. How does it affect the women? Because for every one woman that lies,
right
now there's less women who feel free to come forward when it does happen. That's why I'm so serious. Like, okay, if it happens, especially because it happens usually in the family. So if your family member is doing it, say it. because you're probably not going to be the last one. And the next time a new niece or a new,
I think that was like years ago. I don't think that's happening too much
it
today.
happens every day. It happens every day.
Bet not Jesus.
I literally work with the women. Like it happens
okay.
every day.
Okay.
Like the work is very serious.
I mean,
it happens every day.
Y'all,
people aren't saying it because they don't feel comfortable. And when they say it, it's usually the boyfriend of the mom. So when they tell the mom doesn't even believe them.
Oh, these are young girls?
Yeah.
Oh, babies. Oh, okay. Well, that's different. Usually, those are two different circumstances.
It's the same thing though, because it's usually under 16. So if you're 13 to 16, you're still a young adult. Mm-hmm. So you still know how to verbalize and you still know how to say certain things. But if that happens at 13, now you have to carry that with the rest of your life. So that's gonna have a effect on how you treat other men, but that's also gonna have an effect on if another woman says it, you're automatically inclined to believe her because it happened to you. All I'm saying is we need to convict these women who are falsely accusing, because there are so many women who are going through it. Yes. Like 3 out of 4 women go through it. So that 1 out of 4 women that didn't and says she did, she's hurting the other 3 women.
I was definitely a woman who I've never been like sexually assaulted, thank God, or raped or anything like that. I thank God for that. My the women in my family have, but I've never done that. But I've definitely been like falsely accused, from a man of something, not like anything sexual, but just falsely accused of, basically a man put his hands on me and, he claimed, he didn't type stuff. And then eventually it came out that, yeah, you did, but that's why I say, over time, typically things get revealed that are supposed to be revealed in time. But I understand what you're saying. Those are like 2 different like scenarios to me, because one is if that woman, because we're speaking about dating, so if that woman endures something like that in her childhood and endured that trauma, then now it's definitely going to have an impact. Absolutely. And I don't want to speak too much of it because I haven't gone through that. But that's where that gentle loving is required, and to me, gentle loving is more so meeting a person where they are, and having that understanding. And if you're willing to work things out with them and be there for them, you have to meet them where they are. Yeah.
But are you comfortable with talking to that man? Because regardless of anything that's happened, regardless of anything,
you always have to reveal your traumas, like whatever the trauma was.
I won't say always.
You definitely do. Y'all.
Hold on. There are some people that you shouldn't be with, but you're still with them. So you can't talk to that man. Leave that man. But if you can talk to that man, it is your responsibility to tell that man, because there are so many men that don't know their woman or their wife is suffering with trauma that she hasn't recovered from or even spoken to anyone else about out loud, right? Whether it's herself, her family, a therapist, or if she has, no one believed her. So that's going to shape how she feels about it, and that's going to shape how she feels about even opening up. Right. So it's those small tears that the longer you allow, it's like gashes on gray sweats. If you eventually got to get new sweats, because it's going to get bigger. You're going to continue.
Not my sweats.
You're going to continue to wear it.
Gash them sweats.
You're going to continue to wear it, and it's either going to get bigger, it's going to get wider. So if you don't address what the actual cut is, and it's your responsibility. Most men don't know the statistics of what women go through. And that's one reason why they can't be there, because if I meet you and you say you're healed, but you're not, I'm going to take your word for it, because I can't go off anything else.
How do you recognize, that's one of the questions, how do you recognize, dating when a woman is healed? You say you go off the word, but I feel like
communication.
There we go.
No, because there's some things it's both
that are very evident for a healed person. Yeah.
But you have to give someone that benefit of the doubt. There's so many people who look at life cynically, and they don't think that people are healed. They think that, especially if you're sexist or racist, you're going to think that, all women are like this. Yeah. All men are like this. Sure. All these people biased from this whatever background are like this. So you're already biased. But when you have that communication, and when you're like, okay, cool, this is their truth, this is their history, this is the facts of what actually happened, you're being objective, you actually have to listen to that person, but you have to give them the benefit of the doubt first. I've met too many women who say, oh yeah, no, you have to earn my trust. That's a red flag for me, because that already tells me you're used to giving that trust to men who didn't deserve it or earn
That
it in
shouldn't
the
be a
first
red
place.
flag. That should be something that's evident, that she was maybe she was quick to trust in the past and she received a trauma because
And that's why I say it's a red
abused
flag,
it.
because
So
it's clear
now,
you have a trauma.
well, traumas aren't red flags. It's more so don't
How
take
you
your
react
traumas
to
on.
it.
Exactly.
That's why it's a red flag. It's a
Exactly.
possible red flag.
Right, because her saying that she wants you to earn your trust is more so like, just show me that you're trustworthy, and that happens over time. And I don't think there's
Why feel the need to say? Here's my thing though.
why feel the need to communicate it.
No. A lot of women say certain things when there's not always a need to say it. So
I understand that, because don't make me feel like you're putting like this like roadmap that I have to go through all this stuff to get through. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yes.
So
also,
don't do that.
It's very
ladies.
easy for a man to fake his identity if you're telling him
Trust
blah
me,
blah blah.
I know.
So that's why I'm saying stop saying that. And women are like, "Oh, men are so fake." No, dummy, you're giving him the roadmap to get to the castle.
Give him the roadmap.
You're giving him the roadmap
Protect
to get to the
queen.
castle. So then when Mario finally completes the mission, you're like, "Oh my gosh, how did he get here? You helped him. You gave him the cheat code." What I'm saying is, I've met so many women that are like, "Me and my kids a package deal." Well, duh. I'm saying there's certain things
she's
like
saying
that.
When you buy her flowers, buy them chips. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, I'm like, duh. Like, no, I'm just gonna marry you, and we're gonna send the kids somewhere else. I'm saying there's certain things that are obvious that when you feel the need to say it, when you're like, oh no, this is not gonna happen, this is not gonna happen, but you don't explain why, that's a trauma. Because my first thing is to ask you, okay, that's not a problem for me, but may I ask you why you feel this way? Mm-hmm. Just cause. Well, something's happened in the past. Okay, what happened in the past? I don't want to talk about it. Oh, so you want me to be trustworthy, but I can't even earn the trust for you to communicate with me. So there's always moving the goalpost when a man does A, B, and C, and you're like, oh, no, because the last man did this, so I still can't trust you. Oh, well, I seen somebody do that. So
that's a hardened heart.
Kudos, but
yeah, that's a hardened heart, and definitely someone that has a whole bunch of barriers for you to go through. And sometimes it's just not worth it. And I understand that. 1000%. Sometimes it's simply not worth it. What are dating? Boom, boom, boom. What are your major deal breakers, or just one if you have one?
Unaccountability. Number one, because I feel like I don't care about your flaws. Do you know them? And if I tell you something that's hurting you or hurting me or hurting your possible kids, if you have kids, will you shut up and listen long enough to say, you know what? Just because I've never heard this doesn't make it not true. Right. But because you care about me and you're taking the time to say, sweetheart, I think you should probably drink a little bit less.
You wouldn't tell her shut up though. You'll say like hush. You gotta say hush.
I'm saying you should tell yourself to shut up.
Okay.
Because if a woman's loving me and I'm not listening to her, right, I'm not being gentle with myself. I need to correct myself. I'm like, bro, shut up. She's there for you. I'm not saying I would ever tell her that. No, I don't even raise my voice. I'm saying you should tell yourself that. You need to correct yourself. It could be gentle. It could be straightforward. Yeah. But if you're continuously
both are good.
If you're continuously being wrong to someone who is doing you right, at some point you need to tell yourself to shut up. At some point, you need to say, "Oh, well, this man has care for me. This man has been here for my
intentions.
Kids. He has pure intentions. Yeah. He could be a great dad. He could be an even better husband. He could be this and that. But until I get past certain things that just because I haven't heard, that's the first excuse. Well, no one ever told me that, so it must just be a you thing. No, some of those people didn't want the best for you. Mm. So some people in relationships, they're going to tell you something because they don't like it. Or, oh, hey, don't do this. Don't wear that. No, I want you to be you. Do you. I want the best for you. But if I see you doing something that clearly from me being close, and when I step back, I'm like, oh, I see why you've encountered certain things in your past, because this is the ideology, or this is the mindset, or this is the hurt that it is stemmed from. So I'm saying, hey, can we talk about this? And if it's a no, or if you can't even be accountable to say, you know what, I did never get over that. Or, you know, I've never actually talked about that. Or, you know what? Maybe I should consider therapy. Fellas, women in a relationship, do not be the therapist.
I was just going to ask, how do you feel? Ooh, Jesus. I don't even know what to do on that one. in a relationship, don't be the therapist. Ooh,
I've been there.
Wait now. I know you will be a therapist for your partner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But how do you feel about how do you feel about someone communicating those traumas, say a woman or a man, honestly, communicating those traumas and him responding to it in that light of I'm not your therapist and pushing her off or pushing him off on, a professional therapist, only because, it to me, I feel like this person is probably trying to like be vulnerable and connect with you and all this and that. But the other person is like, listen, I'm happy and high vibrations and, I don't want to speak about this. You need to go work that out over there. I don't really honestly know how to look at that. I don't know how to
you're
look
right.
at that.
You're completely right. When I say don't be a therapist.
No, I'm asking you that
you're right.
That question.
I agree that.
Like, no, but what is how would you take that though? Like, how would you take a person, two people, they go, one is telling them all these traumas and the other person, is like,
I would say
you need to take it elsewhere.
My question is,
that's their response to their spouse.
One, he or she could phrase that better. Two, the question that I would ask is how long and how much has the spouse told them or dumped on them?
Good.
How long have you been saying you have the same problem, but you ain't done to change
that's
it?
Good. Okay,
that's
now
what I'm saying.
I see
Get a
that.
therapist because I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to care about you. I am a trainer.
Right.
I have dated big women. You want to lose weight? Let's go to the gym.
Right.
I don't want to go to the gym.
You talking about
me?
I'm
tired. I'm like, no, like at some point you have to correct yourself. And
yes,
some people, sometimes in a relationship, you're not, some women aren't used to being 100% transparent, and that's okay.
Right.
Oftentimes as a man, we've done things to make you not feel transparent in the past. It is not okay to do that to a man who is transparent with you and who wants the best for you and who is giving you the best. So you need to do extra work. That's what I'm saying. The therapist isn't the go-to, but it's a consistent cycle of, oh, I don't have to tell him everything, or, oh, because I talk with her or my therapist about this, now I have better questions that are objective. Because a lot of times I've dealt with women who have mental issues or who have mental health problems, and they think that it's not objective just because I'm asking them questions. I won't give them my opinion. I'm like, okay, cool. What happened? Why do you think that? What led you to that? Since when? How long have you been thinking that? And it goes back and back and back. And the problems that she says she's having with me, her family, her job, they're not current problems. They're problems that she needs to work out with herself. She needs to work out with someone else. But if she's not going to believe that this love is objective, because I want the best for you, even if I am not what's best for you, that's fine.
Right. That's really good. I love that. Hold on. This button don't want to work, Lord. But I love how you phrase
accountability. Accountable.
I like how you said dump on me, because I didn't really know how to like assess that situation initially either, but I see it. I like how you said, if they bring it to you, they're just sharing with you. They just want you to know that this impacted them, or they went through this
because they care.
They can relate to this, and they're connecting with you and opening up to you. So you should receive that with a whole heart. You should receive that with an open mind, and with a caring spirit.
Yes.
Now, like you said,
it's harder to do that if you've been doing that for 3 years.
Yes, because now it's dumping on you, and now it's clearly wearing on you. So now it's wearing on, now and you're wearing on your spouse. Exactly. And that's when you get, a professional therapist.
So that's why I say
that's good. But but some people don't know like the breakdown of that. Like, how should this go? Is this okay? Is this not okay? I remember opening up to somebody I was dating, and I really liked this person. I really liked him. And I opened up to him and I poured my heart out, and it was not received in any way, shape, or form properly. And he, still he wanted to continue to date me and all
Nope.
that, but based
Nope.
exactly off. I didn't see him in the same light in any way, shape, or form
'Cause he's not
after
a
that.
protector.
I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, you can't blame me for I'm not blaming you for anything. I just know what I want and what I
Yes.
don't want. And I don't want someone who's going to
Actually, you can
handle
blame
me
them,
in this
'cause if
way
you
because
come
now
to
I don't
them
feel safe with you.
and they're gonna make it worse. Oftentimes, if I'm
Exactly.
coming to you
Or
at a low
act like you
place
don't care. Yeah.
and you're not
Yeah.
doing anything, you're going to make
Exactly.
me feel worse, male or female.
Exactly. Just opening up. So I think a lot of relationships are going through that where they're sharing, what has happened to them in their childhood, when they're sharing what has happened in previous relationships, and they're being open with each other. But again, it shouldn't be a dump where you're wearing on the other person, but it definitely can be a bonding experience.
Easily.
Yeah, initially. But if you're not healed from it, don't ever feel some type of way, especially people in our community. Don't ever feel some type of way about getting outside help. Like it's okay to talk to somebody else about it other than,
Because oftentimes you need an
your spouse.
unbiased ear. Because if you think your girl's always right and she actually is right, you're not going to want to hear her. If you think if you're thinking
that would be me, I'm usually the one that's right.
If you think your man is, constantly trying to control you, but he's trying to protect you, and he's not changing anything about you as a person or anything you want to do, he's just saying, hey, you should move differently because that girl really is not your friend. You should move differently because the guy you keep calling your friend is a lurk. He's a snake. And the second that happens, you're going to realize that's not a real friend, or that's a conditional friend.
Right.
So when a man says that, a lot of times women think that, oh, he's controlling, or oh, he's this and that. And oftentimes the initial reaction is to try to emasculate him. So when he's trying to protect him, or when he's trying to protect her, and he's trying to do his God-given job as a man to protect any and every woman that is in his circle, but she doesn't receive that or she doesn't accept that, and then she goes and says, okay, checkmate, you're less of a man. Now he's not going to want to protect you. Now he's not going to want to speak up and say, hey, don't do this. Because the last time
treat a man like a man, he's not going to act like one. That's
zesty.
First and foremost. If you don't treat a man like a man, he's not going to act like one. If you don't treat a woman like a woman, typically she's not going to thrive in her femininity. Amen. Hallelujah. Absolutely, King. Absolutely. So, like we said, y'all stop sleeping with other people's spouses. We're gonna talk about telling each other. I don't know the part about the cheating.
Listen, I'm different. It's not for everybody, but
I feel like we should be, this is what I feel as far as the community part. I feel like we should be checking each other. So I feel like those men who are those examples, they should be going to that brother and checking that brother.
Where's the
balance? Those women should be going and checking that. Not because I feel like it could create more chaos. I feel like the initial interaction, the initial not confrontation, but like whatever it's called, the initial coming together or meeting or whatever, it should be between like the person that's doing it instead of you just going to tell.
So you have the check part, but you don't have the balance part, because how do you check that what you tell that woman or that man has actually been acted upon? You can't. You
maybe
can't then
later.
I'm saying,
I feel like
you can't ask her spouse, hey, have your spouse, admitted that she was having you can't do that. So there's no balance after the fact.
Listen, Lord, you're gonna make me take off my glasses, okay? Even if he's not, this is what I mean by checks and balances. Even if he's not cheating, right? And he's like, it's just, this is how I feel the men should be with their friends. Even if he's not cheating, but he sees him acting inappropriately with women and stuff like that. If it's my friend,
I would tell him
check
first.
your boy.
Yeah, if it's my friend, I'll tell him first.
If it's, the ladies, for me, I'm going to tell you. You're going to not, I honestly don't even have to tell you. You're going to feel my energy. You're wrong. And I cannot stand women who operate like that and say they want a good man or claim they want their husbands.
They just don't want a husband. They want your good man. They want your good man.
He's not even a good man if he's gettable. Like
good
what?
to them.
Right.
So as long as he benefits her,
honestly,
and she has less of a responsibility as a relationship.
A
So he's
lot
giving
of
her money, he's giving
times-
her time, he's giving her the gifts as a girlfriend, but she has none of the responsibility. She has none of the emotional job. She has none of the requirements as a girlfriend or wife, but she gets all the benefits. So his wife has to talk to him. His wife has to deal with his emotions. She just gets the
Thank you, Lord, because that would have been a cuss word. So thank you for not pushing that. But half the time, those men are targets, not because the women want the men. Half the time is because she's jealous of their woman, or she has some type of something against that woman, some type of envy.
half the time
and
it's
she
your very
feel-
friend.
Listen,
That's why I tell women all the
that's
time.
that's the
not your
worst
friend.
betrayal.
That's
Yeah,
not- but
because
I'm
she
saying that's the
flirting
most
with your
common
man.
because it's usually close. When a
Yeah.
man cheats, it's usually close.
Right.
It's a coworker.
But a lot of
it's an
women
old
keep
friend.
those
It's
women
your
around them
friend.
because they have a lack of friends.
Yeah.
I will never be hungry
But
or
they don't
thirsty.
know how to be a friend.
I will never be hungry or thirsty for any type of people who I know could cause me harm. Like, we don't need to kick it that bad. I know how to take myself out to eat, y'all. Like, I don't understand. Everybody that's around me in my immediate circle add value to my life. I can learn from them. They elevate me in some type of way. But it's a lot of people out here that don't know how to be by themselves for a season to build themselves up to attract the right people. So they settle for toxicity and they settle. Honestly, they're comfortable in chaos.
That's what I was gonna say. They won't even settle. That's what makes them feel most comfortable. So in their mind,
Ooh.
they're not settling
Ooh.
because they're used to their parents not being happy. They're used to their friends not being happy. So
That's
this
so
is what makes them
true.
happy. I've literally had problems
That's
with
so
women because we didn't
true.
have problems.
They're not used to
Why
it.
are we not arguing?
Okay, so how do we
What?
change that?
I literally had women ask me,
How
why
do
are we not arguing?
change that, yo? Like, how do we change
Accountability.
that?
Because you have to understand that, okay, this man is bringing me something different, but now I feel different. So is this fear or is this love pulling me closer to him and telling me to correct myself?
A lot of times it's fear of losing it because you don't want to. If it's something real good, it's fear of losing that because they're so used to that.
But the thing about
Toxicity,
fear
as
is the
we
very
stated.
same thing you're afraid
Jesus,
of. You're going to become,
y'all.
or you're never going to achieve. So I'm afraid that this will stop me from getting married. Guess what? Because you didn't do it, now you won't.
Right.
Because you're not taking that man as he should be taken.
Right.
You're not treating me. I'll use myself as an example. If you're not treating me the way I'm treating you, if you're not being open, honest, transparent, affectionate, communicative, and accountable, it's really the first things I ask for. And it doesn't. It's very simple.
Right.
But if
Very
you
simple.
can't have that, and I'm giving you all of that and more, you said you wanted the world. Cool. I was trying to figure out how far is Mars, but you stopping the train. You stopping the
Venus.
exactly. I'm trying to figure out Pluto. Pluto left out. They left Pluto out. Pluto
right.
farthest one. I'm trying to figure out how can I bring that to you.
Baby.
I'm trying to figure out how can I bring that to you. But
Right.
you're stopping the launch. You're stopping the liftoff because you're afraid. Oh, I don't want to go into space, but
So
I want to.
You're referring to the women. You're so funny.
I'm referring to the people. No, I'm for real. Like,
but the
I
people
want to
who
see
are
stuff, but I want to go to space.
To paint a plain picture. So these are the people who are. They're just not used to the good men and the good women. They deem them too good to be true, so they almost self-sabotage it. It's a lot of self-sabotaging out here.
I hate that. I hate that cliche. Only because I've heard it so many times. I've realized that it's a possible red flag.
Ooh, Madeline said, "Hey, Madeline Rose, I love her. I adore her. Hey, girl, happy belated birthday." She said, "There's so many broken people looking for missing pieces outside the box. You have to be whole in order to have a solid relationship." Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we really need to kind of identify how to identify, or more so discuss like how to identify when a person is truly whole. I feel like one of the
You asked them.
I know, but one of the I feel like we need to go into it more. I feel like one of the signs, I should say, of a person being truly whole is that they're not, what's the word, Lord? Like super attached to you. Like, I want my husband to want to be with me. I'm a cuddler, I'm not clingy, but
You're speaking from perspective.
right. So this
Because
is just
you're
me
not dependent.
personally.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dependent.
But some
a
people,
person
some
that-
people are dependent.
that is
and
a
they,
red flag.
to you. I'm saying
I'm not responsible for your
You're not.
happiness, your peace, and that's displayed because they act a certain way when you don't give them what they want.
That's the negative. I'm saying in life you have three different people.
I'm listening.
You have dependent, independent, and interdependent. We are all interdependent. What you're speaking of is interdependency. I love you. I want you. I don't need you. And the second that you show me this marriage or this bond is not important to me, I have to leave because I love myself more. Right. I love you. I want the best for you, but I want better for me.
Right.
My issue is I've always wanted better, but I wanted better from the person that I was in love with.
Oh, yeah.
And the second that I realized you can't give me that,
he's on the market, ladies.
And you're not being accountable to say, hey, I can't give you that right now. How can we work to get what you need? Because if a woman tells me, hey, I need to lose weight, I'm already.
Why you keep bringing that up?
Because most women, that's the first thing. If you ask a woman over,
he's a personal trainer, that's why he keep bringing it up.
No.
I'm just playing.
I know a lot of women. If you ask women, what's the first thing you want to change? They want more money. They want less weight. They want a bigger butt, smaller stomach.
I just want the abs.
Smaller stomach. It's one of the four. It's one of the four. That's gonna be the first. That's gonna be the first one.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I'm saying.
People always want to change something about themselves, but half the time, somebody else will take everything that you got, Lord. Exactly. So just be comfortable and love yourself.
People are like, oh, you're so fit. You don't date big girls. Listen, big backs can still get bent over. Okay. I posted that on Facebook.
Did he just say that?
Big backs can still get bent over. All I'm saying is men don't care about that. You got, for me, I mean, you could be too something to do something. Like
that's gonna be a clip, y'all.
It is. I'm editing that as soon as I get home. I'm going viral today.
Jeez Louise.
I'm saying like a lot of women feel certain ways about themselves.
That they don't call people. Okay, keep going. Jesus.
That's what they say. Oh, I gotta. I know.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I get it. But what I'm saying
we're all Some
people do feel that way, and some people actually, health wise, should lose weight.
Yeah, for sure.
What I'm saying is, as a man and who knows other men, we really don't care about that.
Some people do.
We really, until they get older. I literally was in the gym. I was training a client. She's beautiful. She's a little bit bigger, but dude was like, man, she didn't hear it, so I didn't tell her. But dude was looking at her. He's just like, man, dude had to be like 35, 38. He was like, man, I can't believe all through high school and college, I didn't even take big women serious. And then his bro's like, what are you talking about? Me neither. And then he was like, now?
I don't think
because there's a lack of maturity.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I believe that all women are beautiful.
Absolutely.
Especially you can be more beautiful to someone who is looking for your beauty.
That's what I say. You are beautiful to somebody. You're beautiful, period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you're beautiful to somebody. I'm not everybody's type, but I'm somebody's type. Amen. Thank you,
and
Lord.
that's all that matters.
Exactly.
So stop trying to be everybody's type. So a lot of women are trying to change themselves because that's what everybody like. That's what's popular. That's what's viral. So I feel like if I can do that, then I'll get more of what I want. But what I want isn't intrinsic, it's extrinsic. So what I mean is it's not internal, it's external. I want the external attention because I'm not giving myself enough internal attention. So if a man
I definitely don't want no external attention.
If a man gives me internal attention and he's appreciating the inside, certain times I'm not going to know how to feel because I'm not even comfortable with my outside. So you have to be comfortable with yourself in totality to truly love someone else, to fully love someone else. I'll never say that, you have to heal completely before you can find love. Sometimes love meets you where you're at. God does.
Ooh, where is he, Lord? meet me where I'm at. Meet me where I'm at. Wait, you also train me, so don't nobody look at me while I'm in the gym. Ain't nobody got time for this.
Well, we've gone.
Bruh.
It's been mostly
ain't nobody got time.
When we've gone, it's been mostly women. So
ain't nobody got time, different. Jesus. Don't nobody look at me, Lord. That's all right.
That's why I say accountability is like the number one thing. You got to be honest with yourself.
Absolutely. Amen. So we're gonna wrap it up in just a second. I will let y'all know, and I told you this previously, because I haven't been on a date in a very, very, very long time. Definitely by choice. I'm asked out often, just like you're asked out often. I've seen the messages. But I've never
Crazy
never
women don't
said
count.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some of them I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I
what
ain't
I'm
gonna
saying. So
call them
those don't
crazy
count.
because I don't like throwing that out there about people. But some of them was just impatient or just didn't have no. They ain't had no swag. They ain't had no game. I don't know, Simi.
So those don't count.
Yes.
But you have your pick of the litter is what you're saying.
I have a what?
Your pick of the litter. Like you get axed out.
Oh no, I don't have my pick of the litter.
I'm saying you get axed out and it's your choice why you haven't
I
gone on a
think
date.
all women, yes, get asked out often, honestly. But no, I have not said yes to anyone. Honestly, I've been in a very like protective state over me. I'm very protective over myself. And the number one thing for me is I need to feel safe, you know, whatever that person, because of my past experience, traumas and all of that, that I'm not taking into the next relationship. But at the same time, I just need to feel safe with that person and know that I'm good with that person. So I did say yes to someone. I don't know if it's a date though. So maybe I didn't. Maybe it's not even a date. We haven't defined it. So I am going to hang out with someone for the first time tomorrow. So that should be really fun. And I'll let you know. I don't know. I probably should have asked them like, is this a date? I don't know.
Don't
No, I feel like because that'll just like make it. I don't know.
Because then you're gonna change.
Yeah, probably.
I know
and
you.
I just
I know you already. You're gonna change. You're gonna change, and you're gonna ruin it.
Come together,
You're gonna
have
be like,
fun, and
"No,
just
no,
be friends. It could be like a networking thing.
I get
truthfully.
it. That's what I'm saying. But if you look at it from one
But I
perspective
know I
and you
feel
don't come
safe
into
with this person,
yeah.
and I know he's a good person. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all though. I'm gonna come back and just be like, oh, it wasn't a date. You know, it was a false alarm. It wasn't a date. You know, he might be my new brother. Lord Jesus, I don't know. Right, false alarm. So, and have you asked anybody out recently? No, not yet.
Nope.
What are the qualities that you're looking for in a woman? We're gonna wrap it up.
Honesty, loyalty, transparency, communication, affection, accountability.
I love it. I love it, y'all.
Get my piece. I'm pushing peace.
We pushing peace. We out here pushing peace. Don't be out here dating nobody until you have your own peace solidified. All right. Don't be trying to find it in nobody else. Pushing peace. We pushing peace and purpose and prosperity. I love that. I really don't know what the actual peace stand for. I don't know what it stands for. I just thought about that, but I know what mine stand for.
That's all that matters.
Is there any advice? We had fun today.
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you would like to give to the people who are dating out here in 2023, especially to those women who are maybe in a very protected state and, don't really go on dates very much, but they definitely want their husbands. And maybe the men who don't date too much either and don't approach a lot of women, but they want their wives. What advice would you give those single people out there? They need to mingle. We need to have a singles mingle soon. Single mingle.
Number one is accountability and being honest with yourself. So to address what you said first, a lot of women say they want it, but they're not going to the places that will yield them the results.
Where are we supposed to go?
A lot of women aren't going out at all.
Oh, okay.
So like
That's true.
if you want a businessman, you should go to a networking event.
Yeah,
I want my husband to be this and that, but you're not going to this and that.
Well, don't go there for that purpose. But if it happens, be in a room. You got to be in a room.
I'm saying you're not going for that purpose, but you have to be accountable with yourself to say, oh my gosh, there's no good men. No, you're just not putting yourself into the position to meet these good men because the positions that you are in or going to don't have the highest yield. You can't say, oh, I want a 6-figure earner at the local trap spot club.
And you shouldn't say that if you ain't no 6-figure earner, but keep going.
I ain't gonna touch that.
Okay.
Listen, guys, you said it, but listen, there's a lot of women who want to go get her, but that's why I say lack of self-confidence is an instant turnoff because you want me to do everything for you, which I want to do, But if you can't bring anything to my business, if you can't help me at all,
exactly.
you're a liability. You're not an asset. I'm very big on my money and my portfolio. I don't need any liabilities. Like, you're not even a tax write-off at this point. You're not even a tax write-off at this point. But I would say
accountability, accountable.
Getting better at these buttons,
Man.
y'all. Getting better at these buttons.
I would say accountability and being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to put yourself into position. I'm not saying to put yourself into position for that reason, but if you want to lose weight, you go to the gym. If you want to get money, you go
fight.
If you want to get money, you go to the bank.
All right.
If you want to go get a loan, you go to the bank. You don't go to Pookie. You don't go to you're not going to certain places.
I don't know. Pookie might be balling, but
yeah, Pookie gonna charge you interest. And if you don't get them,
could be your life.
Exactly. Listen.
I was just playing, y'all.
Listen, but you have to go to certain places to get certain things. So be accountable with yourself to say, okay, if I am protected, am I still working on myself and loving myself to the point that when an opportunity does arise, I'm purposeful in that protection. Lord. And I'm not fearful for that protection. Too many women can't figure out the difference.
That's good. And it's 5:55, y'all. That's good. Purposeful, and they think that they have in my protection, not fearful. I love
because it's perfect. Like, I understand. And as a man, I'll be the first person to fight for women's rights and to fight for women's protection. However,
you gotta fight for your own first. But
you have to understand that, I'm now the biggest fear to my dreams. Yeah. It's not him. It's not whoever hurt me in the past. It's now me.
That's
because
good.
I haven't gotten over what has happened, and I'm too fearful of the negatives that might happen. So if you're only worried about the negatives that might happen, you're looking at that man with that negative glass.
Yeah.
You're looking at that man with these negative glasses, and you're wondering, like, he's handsome, but I can't see it. I can't see it. And the whole time he's showing you, you need this. I got it. You needed that. It's already been done. You want this. This is what's important to me. We are aligning and we're here, but you're fearful of your protection. So you're never going to open. I hate to say this.
Open the door.
Not even the door. A lot of women have a wall that they think is a door. They're like, oh no, I'm not stopping it, but it's locked.
I be peeping through the blinds. I ain't even get to the door, y'all.
I'm like, I don't have a wall.
Who out there?
I have a door, and they think that the door,
but it's really a cage for some women. Ooh.
Yes, your house has bars because you're not being protected purposefully. You're being protected fearfully. You don't want what has happened to happen again, so you don't do what you did when you actually fell in love at that point. My biggest issue is I meet a woman who was great to a bad man. Now she can't even be good to a great man.
I said what I said.
That's mine. That's my joint. But it's important to be honest with yourself. Like, if you are not ready to accept that, and if you are still fearful of what might happen, so you don't do what needs to be done, you can't say, I want to give 100% into this one thing, but you're still divvying up your time and your efforts and your mind to different things. It's perfectly fine to date. It's perfectly fine to give people chances. It's perfectly fine not to give everyone a chance. That's perfectly fine. But when it's been 2 or 3 years and you're wondering, why haven't no man asked me out on a date? Because you told 1,000 of them no, and now it's already gotten out that, you know what, don't ask her. So now you're only going to get the aggressive man.
Honestly, that's going to make somebody ask more, but go ahead.
Not really.
Yeah. No, if you ain't on the mic, don't you.
It's two options. It's 2 options. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. It's 2 options. You will get the overly aggressive men who won't stop.
Yes. No, I'm listening.
You can't. I've seen the screenshots.
No, I hear that.
Women post this all the time.
But the way that I am, you'll never want to be overly aggressive to me.
When I say overly aggressive, I mean you've told him no 100 times, but he's still going.
He blocked.
That's.
He's not being disrespectful about it.
He's
tries different ways.
Oh, he on the
Yes.
hunt, like somebody
Yes.
said in my story.
he's
I'm on a
overly
hunt.
aggressive. So you're gonna get the man
It's a
that
no
will
for
not
me.
stop. It doesn't matter if you say
Right.
no. That's what I'm saying. Overly
Yeah, I
aggressive.
hear you.
You can say a no 100
I
times.
hear you.
He's always gonna think there's an
See,
option.
I'm a very powerful woman.
Doesn't
and
matter.
Most people don't
Doesn't matter.
see
He's still
or
gonna think he's
understand
powerful.
that yet.
And to say, okay, you say no today, it's gonna be yes tomorrow.
Right.
My funniest thing, SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs was trying to get the secret formula. It was
What?
it was a weird episode.
Okay.
But he flipped into Plankton's body. So now he was trying to get his own episode. So he didn't get it the first day. Mr. Krabs was like,
He's going somewhere, guys.
I'll be here the next day, and the next day,
Ew.
and the next day,
It's enough
and
for
the
me.
next day, and the next day. He called him.
Stop being weird, nigga.
So a lot of men won't stop, and those will be the overly aggressive men. Or you'll get the man to say, "I'll give it a few chances." She says no, cool, I'm out.
Well, mind
Or you'll get the
you,
man that says, "She said no one time, cool. I wish you the best. We could be cool. We could
I
be
like
whatever."
that.
But I'm never opening that door again.
That's fine. I like that man though. That
But
man has a good.
That man
mindset.
is to you. That man is the.
He
that,
said no. Well,
you said no. He didn't say no.
What?
He asked you.
but
You see?
but he didn't continue to pursue something if she knows that if he knows that she's not interested.
I get that. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is everything in life should not be pursued multiple times. If you have a dream, continue to pursue it.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something because your mom told you she wanted you to do it, especially in like Eastern cultures, they want to be doctors, they want to be mathematicians because that's what comes from their tradition. You're not doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
You're doing it because it will bestow honor on your family.
Yeah.
You're not doing it because this is what you want to do. So you'll continue to do it, but it's not helping you. So that's the 2/3 of the man that will stop. The 1/3 of the man, you still have multiple options. And that doesn't mean that just because he's going to continue, he's healthy. A lot of men are still pursuing multiple women. And while you're telling him no, he's possibly already in a relationship with the woman that
Right.
told him yes the first time. But he's
Right.
still gonna have you open because you finally said yes.
Because that's what he's always wanted. And he went with what was available. But that's another story.
Or he doesn't think you want him. See, here's
That's
what women
true.
don't
That's
understand.
true
If you
too.
continuously tell
That's
me
true
no,
too.
I'm
Yeah,
not going to
clearly
give you
she don't.
100%. When the woman who said, "Hey, I'm into you. I would like to
Yeah,
get to know you.
I
Can we
agree.
do this? Can we do that?"
I agree. I
Because
think
she
that's healthy.
shows- She is
Mutual
showing
interest.
actually mutual interest.
But I will never want to be with a man who I know is like secretly in love elsewhere. Like I need that to be cut off and closed off only because once you have my attention, I promise you nobody else does. And half the time nobody has it when nobody has it. Okay. So that's just for me. I think that's one of my, I hate to say fears, but that's always more so like in the back of my mind. I don't want a man that wants everybody else or is hung up on somebody else. But the gentleman that I'm going just hanging out with tomorrow, 2 other people asked me out like literally in the same time frame, same day, same minutes apart. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm very, pleasant. I don't have an attitude with people. Honestly, I take it as a compliment that you would even ask me out. Thank you. Like that you would even see me in that light or think of me in that way. Thank you so much. Honored. I don't think it'll be a good match though. Why? Because I know who I am and how I am. I don't think this will be a good match. I'm doing you a favor and I'm doing me a favor. It's not going to be a good match. And I'm not wasting my time, nor am I wasting yours. Right. So no and no. And this particular person said yes.
But that is why some men feel like
Follow your spirit. Just follow
that
your
is-
spirit.
But that's what I'm getting to. That is why some men feel like those women are a waste of time. Because let's say, not you,
Okay.
not you. I'm saying if you open door number 1, but it's locked, and you have to come back 20 days in a row for it to be unlocked. But 2, 3, or 4 is already open. So you can have more opportunity to
Right.
go further with them from the start.
Follow your spirit.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
a lot of women don't know that it's by choice, but sometimes it is by fear. And
Yeah,
just
for
because it
sure.
is by fear doesn't mean that she's fearful of giving it, but he's going to put in a lot. He's going to have to put in a lot more work. What I'm saying is there are so many men who have had to put in work for projects that were not up to code, I'll say.
Yeah.
He's been trying to build that building
Yeah.
that never had health permits.
Really?
He's been trying to build that building that still ain't got no HVAC.
Right.
So the city's not going to allow that relationship to open up
Right.
because it's not safe for the occupants. It's
Right.
not safe for the community.
It needs to be safe for both. Like the man needs to feel safe and wanted, and the woman needs to feel safe and wanted as well. Really quick, Madeline Rose said, "You can't bring old dirt to a new house. You can't bring old dirt to the new house. We often carry look, Jesus can't read today. Jesus can't speak. We often carry baggage from the past. It's okay to protect your heart, but you can build a friendship and just let it grow." And I think that's where the safety part comes in, through that friendship, and that's where the foundation of it comes in, through that friendship. Because I don't want to marry someone that I'm not, I don't have a solid friendship with. But I do feel like for the most part, women typically know. For the most part, not always, but sometimes they usually know. But either way, time tells all things. And eventually, you can't deny your feelings. If you begin being attracted to this person over time and you build that friendship, then, follow your spirit. So, main message for this show, y'all, is to date properly. Stop sleeping with other people's men's and women's, Tay Tay and them, Julie and them. Leave their mans alone and be by yourself, or get your own. All right. Because you're hurting other people and you're hurting yourself, right? We want to make our community better. We want beautiful families. We want beautiful couples, beautiful relationships. And we want you to be beautiful as well. And you can't do that in a toxic space, right? So learn to love yourself. And I promise you, when you learn yourself properly, you'll be able to learn the people. You'll be able to love the people around you properly as well. Any final words from the amazing Simi?
Love yourself. Be honest with yourself. But look at yourself first.
Yes.
Don't
Lord.
look at other people, whether they are the same gender, the same background, the same whatever, because so many people want to feel like, okay, this is normal. Not everybody is normal. Like what you want isn't normal. What I want is not normal. So you have to understand that it's okay to be yourself. And if you continue to be yourself, you won't put yourself into positions that don't suit you or that possibly will not suit you.
Right.
So if you continue to be you and be open, honest, and transparent about who you are, then you don't have to worry about the possible negative situations. But so many people aren't being themselves. You don't know yourself. You haven't loved yourself. So you're not afraid of that man. You're afraid of yourself. You're not afraid of that woman. You're afraid because you aren't fully the man that you know you can be or should be at that moment. So stop blaming other people because you're not loving yourself. You're not taking the time to learn yourself. And it's okay to just have the flaws that you have. It's okay to just have the background that you have, whether it's a generational curse, whether it's something you learned from your parents, or whether you just never had somebody around, so on and so forth. But you have to have that accountability. You have to have that self-awareness to say, okay, cool. This probably isn't what's best for me. And if it's not best for me, it won't be best for a possible relationship, whether it is husband, wife, business, friend, co-worker, founder, mentor, whatever the case is. You have to work on yourself before someone who is already ahead of you can see that value. You can't just go to a mentor who has not seen you do any work, or you're not paying and just, oh, hey, can you give me the game? People ask me all the time, hey, how did you get your book in Barnes & Noble? Hey, how did you do this? How are you successful when you're doing everything on your own? Buy my course. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, I can mentor you. You don't want to do that? Oh, well, I have a free option. You can join the group. Oh, you don't want to do? I can't help you. I can't help you because now it's lowering myself.
Yeah.
I'm not putting myself higher, but I have reached certain things that you want. I want to give that to you, but at the same time, I have to take care of myself.
Love it. Love it. And if somebody wanted to purchase your book, A Note to Self, where can they reach out to you to purchase that?
On my Facebook profile. So it's literally at the top. Literally
Love
at the top. Simeon Robinson. There's only one.
Very inspiring, very motivating. Y'all, this has been an amazing show on the Shine Your Light podcast. My apologies for snapping on y'all, but I did it in love. So until next time, thanks for joining us, and we will see y'all soon. Bye.